tonight's edition of News in Depth. I'm Eva Wharton. Thanks for joining us, and we wish you a happy new year. First up, husband of murdered hairdresser charged with her death.
30-year-old Sheldon Prince, the Mazaroni prison warden who allegedly murdered his wife in cold blood on December 28, 2016 at her place of work, was today charged with the capital offense of murder and remanded to prison. Prince of 40 Stanleytown, New Amsterdam, was arraigned before Magistrate Marissa Mettelhalzer at the New Amsterdam Magistrates Court and was not required to plead to the indictable charge. He was represented by attorney-at-law Moerslin Bacchus. 22-year-old Lynette Prince of Ongais Avenue, New Amsterdam, Berbice, was stabbed to death by her husband, who is also the father of their 4-year-old daughter. Lynette was a hairdresser attached to the Fort Kanji Psychiatric Hospital. The suspect reportedly visited the woman's place of work unannounced with a concealed weapon which he used to inflict 11 stab wounds to the victim. Hours after the brutal murder, he turned himself into police in B Division in the presence of his attorney. Prince has reportedly been abusing his wife for years, which led to their separation. The matter was adjourned to February 15 for reports.
More news on the other side of this break.
Hey, looky there. Let me go techie boots.
Boots? No, man, I ain't gonna get lock up teeth in a big stinky 30-second boots. Plus, it gonna be more cheaper online. And don't got my favorite color, pink. Let me go on.
Online shopping. Cheaper, faster, better. Passback.
Welcome back. Seeking to reunite with her children, a Guyanese mother is barred from Trinidad after a custody dispute with her husband.
A Guyanese mother is begging to be reunited with her 3 Trinidadian children after she was refused entry into the country in 2016 twice. 27-year-old Shaniza Samsung of Rose Hall Town moved to Trinidad when she was 18 years old in search of a better life. It was there that she met her husband and gave birth to their 3 children. However, the relationship came to an end after she alleges her husband had an affair. During their separation, her husband was given custody of their 2 eldest children, ages 7 and 5, while she was given custody of their 2-week-old baby.
Eventually, I took my 2 children from him because nobody could not have taken care of them the way I could have as a mother. Getting them into school was hard because I was not a national of the country and he was, and he refused to help me get them into school. And well, eventually I found things very hard. So in 2015, in March, I decided to, my mom came for vacation and I decided to keep them, and we came up with the decision to travel back home. And from there is where it got really difficult because when we went to immigration, I had overstayed previously, but he married me and took me back into the country. This happened in 2011. And after that, after our separation, I ended up with overstaying again because immigration was closed at that time and I couldn't have gotten an extension, and he had sent in papers stopping my residency process, so it was even more difficult to get my extension.
After Samson departed the country voluntarily following her husband's decision to stop the processing of her immigration papers, she was still allowed entry into the country in 2015 to see her children and for her custody hearing. However, all of that changed in 2016 when she tried to enter the country but was told she couldn't because she had previously overstayed.
When I went to the court, I find it was in favor of him and never me. He always had the upper hand. And make it even better for him, the fact that he was a police and he could have get things done, everything was always in favor of him because it reached us so far that when I land in the country, he told my mother that he has an immigration officer friend that gave him information that I arrived in the country and I got turned back, and she was the individual that turned me back.
She sought help from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here and was initially given advice, but after a while, she said officials became evasive. Samson believes the court system in Trinidad is in favor of her estranged husband because he is a citizen of that country.
It's very hard because I'm a mother at the end of the day. My mother never abandon none of us. I never left my children for so long. Just want back my children. I don't really care if it's like in Guyana or in Trinidad, but I grew up in Guyana, yeah, but after school I left and I went to Trinidad to make a life. And
the young mother is worried sick about the well-being of her children, who are all girls, and is calling on those in authority in this country to help her gain access to her children.
Spaniard me like staggerific. I Spaniard. When star give me a hand on the whole place. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, stack up. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, stack up. Turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Star give me hands now. Hand up, hand up, hand up, stack up. Hand up, hand up, hand up, hand up, hand up, stack up, stack up. Tell them no. I don't business if you're not on time. You must always have stag in the line. Well, everybody have a stag in the hand. Where's mine? Staggerman's beer.
In the city, flood waters are receding after continuous rainfall. Continuous rainfall today left several communities in the city inundated. Several of the affected areas visited by this newscast were South Cummingsburg, Alboyston, East and West Front Road and Border. In Border Market, several affected vendors voiced their concerns.
Make it worse when the rainfall and the water gets inside and damage the goods. Then the customers still come and collect the money. Every day you gotta pay $200. I don't know why you gotta pay $200 for $300 you gotta pay every day, plus you pay in a star rent. I don't know really going on.
But this has been the situation. It's been very hard probably for do business. And if the rain continue, like how the rain continue, like they say, this is how it is be for me all the time. And most people who get business on the road, they would be the one that benefiting this time. So, but we suffer a lot inside this.
However, City Mayor Patricia Chase Green, during an interview, said council is doing its best under the circumstances, as she explained, that based on a report from the Engineers Department, all the sluices and cokers are working to drain the land.
We will continue to do our maintenance work with our alleyways, drains, and so what I appeal to citizens is that the intermediate interlocking drains in your area that are your responsibility, we are appealing to you to make sure you clear them. And so it will aid. I'm also putting out an alert for, because of the rainy season, you're seeing the increase in flies, you'll see mosquitoes, and so diarrheal diseases. So be cautious, make sure you wash your hands as often as possible. Take all the necessary precautions to prevent any outbreaks.
Mayor Chase Green nevertheless acknowledged that the council still has a lot of work to undertake. As she said, under the council's 2017 financial plan, the drainage system is one of the main areas of focus. She also reiterated that all departments will be working effectively this year to maintain the city. That's a wrap for this edition of News in Depth. Do join us again tomorrow, same time, for another edition.